Now, Pastor Tony Kema, God has already given us a natural process to have children. Is human science trying to play God?
I think it's important for us to, first of all, draw lines. And the knowledge that Professor has, God gave him the ability
Correct.
to do what he does, to help humanity go through or, alleviate suffering in humanity. And as I was reading through this whole process, I think before we demonize the whole process, it's important for us to say that as I was reading, the first thing that jumps to you, as a layman, is artificial insemination. Right. And for us, when you hear artificial insemination, you assume ningombe.
Yeah, it's how the cows are.
We assume binadamu ningombe. So you assume that it's a process that they do with cows that they're going to do with people. You get what I'm saying? Where you're basically cloning. You want a certain breed of human beings, so you clone. Right. But as I continued to read further, I realized that there was a difference, where that process is done, inside the uterus or the neck, as he called it. That's one. And then there is
intravenous,
in vitro insemination, where now it's done outside the human body. And I want to say this, that Mike, you need to be a parent to understand the joy of holding your own. And one of the greatest problems in human traffic is children. People steal children right, left, and center. And it's, the agony of you losing a child and the other person's agony of desiring to hold one of their own. And I think medicine, science, and God is synonymous. I don't think we have science here and God here. Science actually eventually proves the existence of God, because you need to prove the existence of God through science. And as you continue reading books and and look through and research, you find that science actually complements the scriptures. But I want to say this. Psalms 127 and verse 3, the Bible says that children are a gift from the Lord. A productive womb is the Lord's reward. So there is no guarantee, and I'm sure Professor will attest to this, there is no guarantee that just because that embryo has been fertilized outside, that when it's put in, it shall grow. There are no guarantees. It's still a 50-50. They are not God. It is God who gives life. So there are no guarantees.
So for it to be successful, God is probably...
Exactly. And I want to say this, that the demon in this process is not the science, is the legislation that governs the science. That's where the demon